On this episode, fiber and floating in space. Hey everybody, this is the Quarter Show again, and episode 3. So we're just getting this thing kicked off again. Hit us with comments and you can leave them in the comment section. You can hit us on Twitter, which is I believe the Quarter Post at the Quarter Post. We're getting all that set up, so we're gonna put that in the video. We're gonna put some links below, things like that, and get you the information so you can send us some questions, and you can hashtag the Quarter. Okay. So today we're talking about putting your fiber into it. What does that mean? It means that, sometimes we get voicemails and things like that, and you have people call you, right? And you hear salespeople on the phone, and they're conservative. Like their level of communication is at some level of conservatism. And I think that in business school and different things like that in the world and social norms, like it teaches us to be conservative, right? It teaches us to be at this level of like, oh, hi, Mr. Thompson. Yes, I understand. It's very important, right? And the truth is that doesn't really sell, frankly. Be yourself. Always be yourself. I want to underscore that. For me, I have to do me. I have to be authentic in my own way and sort of communicate my own way, and obviously have your manners and be respectful in any way that you want to be. But the thing is that you have to put your fiber into a sale, and you have to sort of. When I say your fiber, I mean every part of you has to be involved in that sale. When I make a phone call and I'm selling something, number one, I have to make sure that I'm completely sold on the product or service that I'm selling. Like, what am I selling? And am I first and foremost sold? I have to be the first one that's sold, right? And then from there, it's like, am I vested in this thing? Is all of my fiber in this call, in what I'm talking about, like all of me, right? Emotionally, am I invested in this thing? And frankly, a really good phone call, a really good sales call should be somewhat taxing on you, right? Because you're so invested in it. Like by the time you get off, you're like, whew. That's the level that you're invested. And if you're not at that level, it can't be superficial, by the way. It has to be authentic. And if your fiber is not in it, where whatever you're selling, you have not completely put everything you've got into that call, into that meeting, or into whatever, and you're not taking it that level, then you're not taking it to a pro level. And that's something we would say that's not putting your fiber into it. But I mean, you know a lot about this in terms of when you have to put everything you've got into the phone call and care about your prospect. I mean, what's your input on that?
Yeah, I mean, one of the traps you can fall into is you can see some great sales speakers and people who are really good at sales and whatnot, and you can see their attitude and how they act and how they bring what they bring to the table, and then you can try to be that. And that is really that's really a trap. You can't. There's a limited amount of success you can have with that, and that's probably how like the whole used car salesman thing got going, is people started acting a certain way, and then everybody started doing it, and suddenly you have this weird beingness that floats around, and then sales gets a bad name because people are not being genuine, they're not being themselves. They're trying to act like somebody else because they want the millions of bucks that somebody else made. But like when there are a few really good salespeople here at Richter, and me and one other fellow are the 2 top salespeople here at Richter, and we are very different. And we're totally buddies and friends, but like me, when I am putting my fiber into a sales call, I'm bubbly, I'm a little silly, I'm not trying to act silly, I just kind of am a little bit. I'm not goofy or weird, but I'm like, hey, and I'm so excited, and I'm genuinely excited, and that's how I feel. My voice pitch changes, all sorts of things. And that's just me being
you at a higher level.
Yeah,
right? You at a higher level.
Yeah,
right? You're fully invested as
right.
You, right?
Yeah, I'm like brightening myself, just me. Now the other fellow who you'll meet in a different video, Devin Litchfield, he's amazing, and he is smooth as glass, and it's not a disingenuous or a not genuine smoothness. He just is, and he is precise. He's a professional. He'll sometimes say things that are just off the wall, but it's 100% him. And he brings Devin to the table.
But all of it's centered around, the thing is that it's all centered around caring, right? Caring about the prospect and really caring about what you're selling. and really being invested in that sale, right? You want the sale, not because you want a commission or because you're trying to make a buck, but because you're driven by the purpose and you're driven by the end result and you're driven what you're trying to do, and you're really deeply invested in that end result. Right?
I've taken deals over the finish line actually from start to finish in a short time because I believe in them so completely. Like there was, and I won't go to the details of it because it's a bit of a cool story, but there was a project and it was an unusual project for Richter, but I looked at that client, I looked at what he was trying to do, and he had a vision. Right? And it wasn't something that was a standard Richter project, but I went, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I believed in it so completely that I did whatever it took to get it done, and it got done.
Yeah. Yeah. So put your fiber into it. Like really lay into, before you do a call, get your head right, get in the game, and really be there. Really feel it. And if you don't pick up the phone. Like get in the point where you're at that stage and then make the call. Care about the customer, think about who you're selling, think about what you're selling, think about why they need it. Why do you even care about it? Forget the commission, forget all that stuff, forget all the money. Focus on them, focus on what they need. Put all of your fiber on it. It is the mission. It is the mission, and then go and sell. And you know what? To sell that way, it's fun, it's enjoyable, it's authentic, and it's real. And the other stuff, people are not idiots, right? People are not idiots. They can pick up authentic people and then superficial people just trying to make a buck. It doesn't work.
And I've been offered a job a few different times, and including from other creative agencies and whatnot. And I got asked one time about it, and there were, I don't know what the full context was. It was very interesting, but I was like, no, I'm with Richter, and if I felt there was a better agency, then you get behind the mission of the place that you're in.
Yeah.
There's a Kool-Aid that we drink here, and when you do that, it allows you to be yourself. So wherever you are, if you have to get yourself to believing in your product completely, and that way you can put your total fiber behind it. And to the degree that you can do that, you're going to do great. And if you cannot do that, leave. You're not.
You gotta go somewhere else. You gotta go somewhere else where you can do that. Okay. Now let's go to the next point. Let's go to don't let your prospect float off into space. So
this is hard.
So let's sort of clarify that. So you picture an asteroid breaking off and kind of just floating off into space and just going into blackness, right? And you think about following up, and you think about in the sales cycle, somewhere in the sales cycle, you've gone through, you've maybe had a discovery call, and you take it to a certain point, and then you kind of run out of gas, you don't know what to say, and then you kind of like let the prospect breathe to some degree. Like you let it you start adding time and adding air into the cycle, and you're essentially just kind of like letting it go and sort of letting them float off into space because you don't really know what to do. You don't really know how to control it. You don't know what else you should send and how to keep them engaged, and they just kind of float off. And here's the deal. Time and space is going to kill your deals. It's going to kill deals left, right, and center, right? Time and space. People think that, it sounds counterintuitive because people think, oh, be patient with me, right? Be patient with me, give me time, give me some space and time to think it over. Time is a lie. It's definitely not your friend. Time is not your friend. It's not my friend, it's not the company's friend, it's not the client's friend, right? It's always ticking and working against us. And the truth is, everything is urgent. If you're going to win in any sport, in any business, in any game, it is urgent. It's always urgent. You got to move now, right? And so it's like, if you give time oxygen, and you let your prospects sort of just go off. Now, they go off into space and it's gone, right? They just float off into space, and you did it. Keep that in mind. You did it, right?
Because you were creating the excitement in the first place, to a degree. The product, yes, the product can create excitement in the prospect. They're envisioning how it can solve their problems, but I tell you what, they've got half a dozen problems all day, every single day. And so your marketing material excited it lit a fire. Your reach out, your voicemail, it lit a fire. Yeah. And that fire will absolutely die because they have so much on their plate at any given time. Yeah. You are the one going,
yeah, you have to keep the fire going.
And if you don't, that thing's going to burn out.
It is going to burn out. And the thing is, you got to keep fanning the flames. And are we talking about being super aggressive or harassing them. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about running incredibly fantastically tight control, right? Running it so tight that they enjoy it. It's good. They know that you're a pro. They know that you're running it super tight, and you're taking it all the way through. So you got to figure out, well, what can I send? How can I run point all across this, and how can I keep them engaged in communication and moving next step, where it's going from proposal to proposal review to selling and handling to asking to closing logistics, so on and so forth. And you have a lot of experience with this, but this all boils down to just control, running really good, tight, hyper control on the cycle to get it done. And if you don't, you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. That interest is going to die down. Here's what's going to happen is you're going to go, the prospect's going to say, oh, this looks great. Thank you very much. Yes, send a proposal. We're going to think it over. Going to meet with the team next week. And then what happens is you call them next week. They didn't meet with the team. They'll tell you the week after, or perhaps they'll even at that point say a month later. And then if you have patience, if you wait for them to act, if you do anything but take it on yourself, take it on your shoulders like Atlas, and start running that ball down the line and start like just moving, that interest absolutely is dead. You're gonna have to start. You're gonna have to start not from scratch. You're gonna have to start sub-scratch, because here's what's happened. People make decisions, and when a person makes a decision, it's very hard to unstick that decision. It's very hard because people's decisions are powerful in all areas of life. So when they've decided they're going to wait, trust me, they are going to wait, and they're not going to stop waiting, and it's crazy to unstick it.
Yeah, they're going to add time. The thing is, the time is not going to help them. It's going to hurt them, right? They're going to add time. They're going to say, oh, tomorrow, and then we're all busy. We get new emails. We procrastinate. New cycles happen. Different things. It's human nature. We're all human beings. We're all guilty of it. This is what happens. Delay. Time. And truth is, if you believe in your product and you believe what you're selling, then they need it right away. They need it yesterday anyway, right? So adding time doesn't help anybody. It certainly doesn't help them. It makes them do double work. They have to look at it again. It's adding more time. You're actually making them busier by not being efficient and not getting the cycle done. You're actually making the prospect busier despite what everybody thinks. And then you know, it just and then away it goes. It just floats off into space, and the deal's dead. And then you come back and say, oh, they've gone dark. Oh, they're not in communication.
I heard this one the other day.
You know,
I was talking to an agency, and we were working to get a client of theirs a video.
Yeah.
And I'm in communication, fairly swift email. I don't prefer email, but whatever. We're doing email, and he goes, okay, so the ball is in the client's court now. Okay, look, I understand that the ball is in the client's court. Totally get it, but listen. Here's what I recommend. And what I did was I'm like, look, let me get on the phone with your client. I'll represent you. I'll be part of your agency. We'll totally go in together.
There's no their court, by the way. There's no their court.
There's no their court.
It's
only your court.
Okay? Your court only. That'll be another episode. We'll take that up. But it's only your court.
Extreme ownership.
Extreme ownership. So anyway, don't let it go off into space.
No.
Control your cycle in a good way. Make it a great experience for the customer, prospect.
Oh, I'm going to make a quick comment.
Go.
All of us have had someone lie to us about something at some point in their lives, where you get told a lie and it's important, and then it takes a while for you to trust a person again. So a person tells you a lie, and sometimes it takes a long time for you to trust a person again. It takes this long period of time. Here's an interesting thing that happens. It's happened with me, it's happened with you, it's happened with any salesperson, is when you follow up a lot, you will run into the occasional individual who communicates back to you, no matter how positive, no matter how cheerful, no matter how kind and good you're being, you're harassing me. And you're going to feel really backed off, and like you had better not do that with any prospects anymore. That is 100% false. You have run into a rare instance. If you are genuine in being you, I'm on the low end of the scale, actually. I don't follow up enough compared to some people.
Right.
I'll call a person every single day, maybe twice a day sometimes, and that's sometimes not enough. In some cases.
To actually get the deal done.
You cannot. You have to ignore the individual, whether they're well intentioned or not, who says you're harassing me. Ignore that. Don't ignore them. Fine. They feel harassed.
But the social protocols, the social protocols, the social political correctness associated with the deal. Because the bottom line is, if you believe in your product and you believe in them and you believe it's a fit and you believe they need it, then suffocate the time. Go after it. Get rid of the time.
Go after.
So anyway, look, that wraps it up. We're going to
Yeah.
get into that episode, have more coming to you. Make sure to subscribe, and then hashtag the quarter. You can go to follow us on Twitter and ask questions and things like that as well. And we'll have more coming at you. Okay, thanks.